Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Foraging Garden, and in this video we've got a bit of a different feel. I am on the hunt for our only montan species of butterfly found in the UK, and that is of course the fabulous mountain ringlet. Now this is a butterfly that has evaded me for years. I've always been in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I am today in the Lake District in Cumbria in North England, where we are hoping very much to find a few of these beautiful little insects, which are not that dissimilar from our sort of normal ringlets, if you like. They're very dark, sort of brown in colour, but they have these gorgeous little orangey red rings on the upper side of their wings. Fabulous little insect. And yeah, so I'll give you a bit of an idea of the sort of landscape and the terrain we're in. We're quite high up now. This is a butterfly that usually flies or is found between 450 to sort of 800 metres above sea level. And if I pan round now, just parked in the car park there, I'm at Kirkstone Pass, which is the main road between Ullswater and down sort of Windermere way in the Lake District. You see fabulous views down to the bottom there, down Ambleside down there where we stayed last night. So absolutely gorgeous terrain. It's been sunny most of the morning, typically clouding over now a little bit, but nevertheless I should do my best to try and find these brilliant little creatures. They are quite sedentary in terms of where they fly. I mean, the populations tend to be quite sort of localised, if you like. They're not a vast, widespread species across the moorland or the grassland, the heathland. Where I am now, they tend to prefer sort of damp, sort of sheltered pockets within the landscape itself. So obviously they're not going to be right at the top of the mountain. And interestingly enough, this butterfly was actually the first to recolonise after the last ice age. However, it was also one of the last ones to be discovered. About 1809, I believe, the mountain ringlet was discovered. So yeah, quite intriguing. But I'm really looking forward to finding these if I can. As I say, they prefer to fly in the sun, and although they are very hardy, obviously living up where we do. Oh, there's a small heath there. Promising signs. I've seen a white already, and they are a hardy species, but they will prefer a bit bit of sun, which we might get a little bit of. There's a few patches in the cloud, and the two larval food plants that are known to this species are mat grass and sheep's fescue, of which there are both on this site. I've done a bit of research and found there are one or two ringlets found in this area, mountain ringlets. Just a fabulous landscape, look at that. Huge sort of rocky scree slopes, which I don't think they're likely to be up there. They're going to be more down in the sheltered pockets, out the wind. These damp areas, of course, are indicated by a lot of the rush species which are here. So we've got hard rush and soft rush, which are plants that I often plant around my wildlife ponds. Another small heath there, and a white. So obviously warm enough air temperature wise. It doesn't always have to be bright sunshine for butterflies to fly, although they need the sun's warmth to warm up. They can fly in conditions when the air temperature is warm enough. So down in the bottoms it's been about 14, 15, even up to 18 degrees. So hopefully, I mean, a bit cooler up here of course. Yeah, fabulous, absolutely stunning. A little bit taken away by it. As you can see, you've got some cotton grass as well, which is nice, which is another plant that I plant around some of the wildlife ponds I make. All sort of lovely boggy moss habitats here, so I think it's the right spot, but let's just hope we can find some. Don't know if you can see that there. There's a patch of cotton grass, so I'll take you over to it because it's such a lovely flowering at the moment. So I've wandered, or squelched should I say, my way over to this cotton grass, and you can probably see my feet. Quite boggy terrain, but well worth the trek. I mean, what a pleasant surprise this was. I've actually found a small little pool. If I crouch down, maybe you can see a bit better. A small little pool of broadleaf pondweed, which is wonderful to see. It's obviously one that I planted a floating leaf plant in the ponds that I make, and actually over there, you probably can't see, there's a pair of large red damselflies, two pairs actually, large red damselflies mating. In fact, they're actually everywhere. So a wonderful little landscape not too far from the main road, and one that is obviously crucial in terms of damselfly, dragonfly populations across the UK. You can see just absolutely glorious, all this cotton grass in flower, and this sort of little wet flush that comes through this part of the top of this hill. I can feel my socks getting slowly wetter, so I'm going to stand up. My foot's actually submerged, so good old peat bogs for you. I probably should have worn my wellies, but hey, it'll be worth it, I'm sure. But lovely little thing to see. I thought I'd just show you that. Those of you that have been following the channel will know how much I do to create wildlife ponds all across the UK. So really nice to see some of the plants that I plant around these margins of these ponds in their natural habitat where they are more commonly found. So yeah, onwards and upwards. Well, that's quite amazing. I didn't expect to see this smooth newt up at this altitude. Absolutely brilliant. It's a female, and just literally crawling towards this this little small, well, it's not even a pond, just this very wet boggy area where all this broadleaf pondweed is. So put her back now, but yeah, what a fabulous find. From here you can really see where the cotton grass gets its name. These lovely cotton heads of seeds, which are in full swing now, of course. Very, very nice. And this landscape just gorgeous. There's a constant sort of peet 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 of the meadow pipits, which are on territory at the moment, no doubt have young. And I've just spotted another one of the plants that I plant around my wildlife ponds, which is this, looks like a buttercup, but it's actually lesser spearwort, which is very nice to see, and it's growing in abundance in these wet flushes along with this cotton grass. Absolutely gorgeous. Lots and lots of green vein whites on the wing. We've had 3 or 4 at one time now. It really is quite boggy, this stuff. And the other thing I should point out is the most common nectar source for these mountain ringlets is this tormentil, which is nicely in flower now, this smaller yellow flower, very much like creeping sankalfor, and yeah, that's what they're going to mostly be nectaring on if and when they fly. Clouding over a little bit now, so not looking too promising, although there are still, as I say, a few green vein whites on the wing, along with quite a few small heath as well. Small heath, the smaller cousin of course of the large heath, which will inhabit similar conditions to this. Not seeing any large heath here. I'm not familiar with this area, so I don't 100% know whether large heath are at this location, but you never know. We'll keep on searching. So as I search these boggy areas, I can't help but notice, if you listen, way up there, sort of peep peep peep. I don't know if you can hear that, but in between the traffic and the meadow pipits there is the distant call of a ring ouzel, which are a thrush that migrate here every spring and go back in the autumn, and they love these rocky outcrops. I've seen them on the North Yorkshire moors, not for a few years, but this is exactly the sort of habitat where you would expect to find them, on sort of rocky outcrops just like this at altitude, where yeah, they're very much like a blackbird, but they have a white collar across their chest, or a white bib it's sometimes known as. So yeah, very nice to hear that. It's been a long time since I've heard one of those. But yeah, I found a path which is nice on the feet. My feet are now somewhat damp. Who cares? I've got spare socks. So the search for the mountain ringlet continues. Weather not looking promising. 1 or 2 tiny gaps in the cloud, but yeah, quite a grey. It was forecast to get more and more overcast, and they really do prefer a bit of sun to fly. Another meadow pipit just flushed up there, but nothing else. Hopefully you can enjoy some of this fabulous scenery with me. Ring ouzel, meadow pipits, small heath, green vein white, and all the plants I plant around wildlife ponds. What more could a man ask for? So I'll carry on the search. So this stuff down here is a vital and key component to any peat bog. And this is sphagnum moss, which is really crucial for holding the moisture, locking it into the ground, and creating and basically maintaining these wonderful habitats that are our peat bogs. So yeah, very wonderful to see. Really, really lovely. The hunt continues. It's funny because this on paper, this habitat here is exactly the sort of place I'd expect to find them. We're not right high up in the sort of rocky slopes where there's very little cover. It's a bit drier, obviously, less vegetation, so less cover for them. It's not the right habitat for them. But down here, where you've got swathes, if you can make it out, of the yellow tormentil in flower, you've got the larval food plant, you've got the nectar plant, you've got the larval food plant in terms of the sheep's fescue, mat grass, loads of cover, loads of tussocks. one or two sheep, but I just cannot find them. I'm flushing up small heath left, right and centre. So there's butterflies here. We've seen lots of green vein whites, must have seen at least a dozen now, and yet the mountain ringlet continues to evade me. Well, I'm not giving up yet. Well, I'm not sure if you can hear, but I've just been watching up on this rock slope a pair of wheatears, which are a lovely migrant from Africa, and they come over in the spring to the UK, and they leave again in the autumn, and their name originates from, excuse my language, white arse, which is because they have a white rump, obviously at the back, just above the tail, same as bullfinch, same as house martin, if you're familiar with those. Lovely little sort of, the males are like a slate grey back almost, with sort of a fawny chest, a little bit white to fawny chest, but there's one. The male has just landed down here. So hard to pick out, of course, grey against grey there. And the single sort of deep. That's him there. At least I think it's the male. No, it's the female actually. Which is just. There's no point in me trying to show you. It's almost impossible to pick them out when you're not looking through a lens of a camera. Anyway, so lovely to see those, but I just wanted to end on this view. It's just an incredible view. I've walked miles from the truck, which is up the top, so really nice to see this view back here. It's just absolutely stunning. I hope it's given you a kind of a brief insight as to what beauty the Lake District has to offer. I think I'm going to have to call it a day on the mountain ringlet. I'm not sure whether it's just because they are later emerging this year. I mean, there's been reports of them up until like 3 or 4 days ago, so they could have just been on the wane now, but it's a shame. I will certainly try, fingers crossed, and come back next year for them. They are an incredible species, one that I've wanted to see and tick off my butterfly species for the UK for a long time, but I thought I would just end on that view and a few shots that I'll put in now of these stunning lakes, which are just wonderful to see. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give the video a like, and I promise to bring you more videos on all the flora and fauna. Hopefully you've enjoyed some of the flora and fauna shots that we've shown you today, in many more videos to come. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.